up, you guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and we are going to recap and review Love and Marriage DC. This is season 1, episode 10, and it's the final episode of the season. I think we have a 2-part reunion, possibly. I don't really know, but I know we getting a reunion. But before we get into the review, I just want to tell you guys, thank you. Thank you for everybody who has been watching the videos, who has been commenting on each of the videos. I really appreciate y'all, and thanks for staying along the ride. So let's get into this review. Okay, so the episode opens up where we're still in Maryland. We're still at Monique's and Chris's house. It's the morning, and Chris and Monique are happy because Kevin made a fool of himself, and now the group somewhat likes Winter and realizes that she's been dealing with a whack nut, Kevin, and they kind of feel bad for her, and people are now starting to take it easy on her. I find it odd that they find it great that happened, but then again, both of them are messy and enjoy mess. Chris likes the mess, and so does Monique, even though she tries to act like she don't. But okay. So everyone comes down. They're about to have breakfast, but then they decide to get IV treatments. They're going to have IV treatments done at the house. I thought it was weird that Ashley contradicted the whole IV process. So if you don't know, IV treatments are normally done for dehydration. So giving your body nutrients a lot quicker so that it goes into your bloodstream. So your red blood cells and your white blood cells and that they have time to take in that nutrients, and it helps you more rather than you eating. But Ashley wants to drink while getting it done. So I'm like, you're basically counteracting the whole point of getting an IV treatment, but okay. But Ashley wants to play this game, That's So You. And it's basically you ask like random questions and you give the card to somebody that you think this is like what they would be about. One of them was like started having sex in elementary school. The other one was like still be having sex at 81. And they gave that to Jamie and Arena. And then we got a little bit more information about Tasha and Neil when it came to started having sex in elementary school. So basically, Tasha and Neil seem to be somewhat high school sweethearts. They got together when they both were in 12th grade. Neil was Tasha's first. Everybody was like, oh, so y'all been together that long. Y'all never had moments. But we come to find out they both had moments, which is understandable when it's like, when you're in 12th grade, you're like 17 or 18. Neil and Tasha give me maybe mid to late 30s. So things would happen. It doesn't seem like they initially really got together after that, but hopefully we get more of them next season if they get a season 2. We then have this real awkward moment with Quick and Ashley, where Quick puts his foot in his mouth, where he was like, oh, I'm glad y'all are being honest. I want to be honest with y'all too. So we find out that Ashley cheated on Quick, and Quick said he cheated on Ashley. And Ashley's like, hold up, wait. What do you mean? When was this? And he was like, well, this was like, a long time ago. So then it got real confusing. But for me, like listening to it and deciphering it, Quick didn't think it was a big deal until Ashley got mad. It seems like this person that Quick was messing around with was probably somebody before him and Ashley got serious. But when Ashley supposedly cheated, Quick feels like she did cheat, but Ashley says they were still in like a situationship. They didn't put titles on it. So she had started talking to another guy emotionally. And Ashley was like, I don't really consider that cheating. But then Tasha chimes in and she was like, no, all of that is cheating. But it seems like all of this happened between the ages of 17 and 20. So they were kids. They basically were going through the rigmarole of figuring out whether or not they was going to be together. And it seems like once they got together, there was no infidelity, allegedly, but it seems like there probably was. Quick felt some type of way when Ashley said, if Quick got his lick, I got my lick back. Basically, like, you're not going to be out here doing me dirty, and I'm not doing it to you. So everyone's kind of taken aback, because everyone's like, well, we didn't ask y'all to share this information, but y'all shared it with us, but we're going to listen. And it's the night of the, we go to nighttime, basically. And so Ashley and Quick are hosting like a little get together down in Monique's and Chris's basement. And everybody's dressed in iconic couples. I find it weird that Monique dressed like Little Kim and Biggie. So I'm like, girl, Little Kim was a side chick. She'd be out here acting like she the wife. Like she was long suffering wife, but she was the side chick. Chris had me weak because he was in his full Biggie persona, and I liked it. Arena looked good. Arena's body is just amazing. She was her and Jamie were B and Beyonce, Jay and Beyonce. I don't know why anybody would want to be Ike and Tina, but Ashley and Quick were Ike and Tina. And then we had Neil and Tasha be Erica Badu and Andre 3000. And because they didn't know Winter was staying longer, Winter just came downstairs like weak. But they was like, Winter's going to be Yolanda Adams. And I was like, okay. I mean, she can sing, so, but she ain't no Yolanda, but she can sing. So right away, you could tell that Ashley is still mad at Quick. She's still upset. And Quick is trying to like get her to not to be upset, but she's still in her feelings. We then have Ashley asking this question. If you met your spouse today, would you marry them? And it started a whole nother debacle of issues between the couples. We'll get Jamie and Arena out the way. Jamie and Arena said they still would marry each other. Jamie says she's the sweetest and kindest person he knows, and she just has gotten better with age. Arena said the same thing. He's still the same person. And they said in their confessionals together, like, we're actually like in a good place. We're actually genuinely happy. Which I was like, okay, good for them. But you can tell that they need to figure things out. And when I say figure things out, I mean there needs to be ways in which Jamie can change the way he responds to things emotionally, and so does Arena. Because the fact that a lot of people feel like Arena is some battered woman should mean that Jamie should switch up how he's perceived. I don't believe that he is physically abusing her, but the fact that a lot of people who watch this show feel like he might be doing that says a lot in the way that Jamie carries himself. And he needs to change that, as well as Arena needs to learn how to speak up more for herself. And it seems like this show has kind of given her that, because we see her throughout the show begin to tell Jamie how she feels. And maybe in that regard, that has made their relationship better. But hopefully they're okay. But no one should be the same person for 30 years. Like, there should be certain things that should be the same, like, you know, your morality, your loyalty, but like you should be evolving as you get older. That's just what it is. We then go with Quick and Ashley. Ashley basically said no, she wouldn't marry Quick if at the age she is now. Basically, she felt like she raised Quick. She was like they got married at a young age, and she just feels like she basically had to teach Quick how to love, how to be a husband, and no one did that for her, and she's a good wife. Quick said he would unequivocally yes marry Ashley, and it was all the reasons why Ashley said what she said. And he was like, you taught me what unconditional love was. I never had that. He basically talked about how everybody always wanted something from him, and when things got rough, they just left him to his own devices. And he said with Ashley, he remembered a time where they were in the basement. He was still doing his DJ thing. And Ashley and Quick was like, why are you here? Like, why are you still around? And Ashley was like, because she likes being around him. And Ashley wanted to point out, she was like, I said that when I was 18 or 17. And my thing with Ashley is, you said that when you were 18 or 17, but yet you're still with him. So if you really wanted to leave, you would have left. But I do understand wanting more to than being just someone's wife or someone's mom. You want to be your own entity in your own self. So that makes a lot of sense. But because of Quick saying what he said about how he loved her, she was like, she's not mad at him no more, and they gonna get it in later on tonight. We then get to Chris and Monique. So Chris is saying that Monique is demanding, she's controlling, and sometimes I question, why would I do this? But I would 10 times over because I love Monique. Then he made the mistake of bringing up his high school sweetheart, and Monique was just annoying AF. Like, I am of the belief, like, people can still talk about their exes, They can talk about their exes. And when Chris explained, like, I've never been with anybody else other than Monique and my ex, that says a lot. He's basically saying that, like, I thought I was really in love with her, but then I met you and you changed everything. Monique over here talking about, like, don't compare me to your ex. And granted, we don't know the backstory, like, whether his mom liked, because it would probably seem that the mom liked the ex more. The gossip is that the mom liked his ex before Monique came into the picture. But Chris is telling you again that I would still be with you no matter how controlling and demanding you are. I still love you for who you are. I feel like you're my soulmate. Monique basically takes the air out of Chris's balloon and says, no, I think we should have never got married. Once we put the paper in there, things got complicated. We should have just stayed spiritually married. It's quite odd to me that Monique said they should have stayed spiritually married or been spiritually married, because when you see her juxtaposed to Real Housewives of Potomac, Monique was very boastful, especially rubbing that in Giselle's face about being married, about her husband's portfolio. But when you think about it, if y'all are spiritually married, you don't get access to nobody's portfolio or nothing. Like, they'll give it to you, but ma'am, you're not entitled to any of that documentation unless you take those steps to make that documentation in order for that to happen. Like, there are clearly a lot of people who are married in conventional ways or unconventional. No, I think it's unconventional ways, and it works for them. There's polyamorous couples. We have that stuff. So I'm not knocking people having non-traditional ways of partnering with other people. But honestly, anytime somebody says we should be spiritually married, it grinds my gears. It really does. Because hearing it from a woman, because Monique's the first person I ever heard of spiritual marriage from a woman that advocated for it other than a man. And it still has the same effect that you just want access to somebody with the opportunity to leave when you just want to. Because a lot of men who say, let's be spiritually married, either have secret families or they want the ability to, like, back out of the situation once things get real and life gets real. So to hear her say that, it kind of, like, surprised me. It really did. Because I'm like, you were so happy to point that out to the ladies on the other show that now you're saying this complicated things. It was weird to me. It was really weird to me. I'm not even gonna lie. I was just kind of like, wow, like, you really didn't want to be with him like that. And then it leads to the guise of, like, people feeling like they even said in the trailer for the reunion. And even I had this tea way before the season started where a lot of people were like, Monique was trying to set up her escape. This show was her way of getting her own money, not connected to Chris, and that she was planning to divorce him. So I'm actually excited that, like, that was one of the questions that Carlos is going to ask, because that's what a lot of people have been feeling. A lot of people, because it's like every time Chris does something, Monique has an issue with it. And it's like, do you really like him or don't you? So it's the next day. Everybody's like, they had a good time at Ashley and Quick's little dress up thing. We see Monique, Chris, and the kids, and they're going horseback riding. And Chris and Monique are having the discussion again about what happened at the event when they were dressed up like Little Kim and Biggie. And Monique starts crying. And I was just like, as much as y'all gave other people for crying, Monique has cried at least like 3 times this whole entire season. And y'all like to get on other people about crying. And she's like, I'm always trying to prove myself. And it's clear that you can see that in Monique. Monique is an insecure lady. As beautiful as she is, she's insecure about her own placement in this world, especially as it pertains to being attached to Chris. She even said that she feels insignificant, and that sucks because nobody should feel that way. But that's sometimes what happens when women and even men attach themselves to somebody who has their own, like, status, and it's a lot higher than yours. Like, I can give a couple, like Serena Williams and her man. She married him, but I think he was the founder of Reddit. But, like, we didn't know who her husband was, but we definitely know who Serena Williams is. So he would probably have to learn how to maneuver being attached to somebody like a Serena Williams. Same with Monique being attached to Chris. I didn't know who Chris was until he got on that other show, but Chris was very famous for being in the NFL, being attached to the I know it's not the Redskins anymore. It's another name, but the formerly team known as the Redskins. He was attached to that, and even well known in Alabama for, being a college athlete. So you attach yourself to that. Sometimes you can feel insignificant, especially if your star isn't rising at the same momentum as theirs. And we didn't know who Monique was until she got on that other show. So I think she got a taste of fame and what it was like to be referred to, other than being Chris Samuels' wife, but being known as Monique Samuels. And she doesn't want to let that go. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to carve out a lane for yourself. But I think the way in which Monique does it, it's very off-putting to everybody. Like, one minute you're mad at Chris, the next minute you're not mad at him, but you want him to do this and you want him to do that, and you're trying to police the way in which he talks to you. And I'm not saying that Chris speaks down to her, but it's like every time Chris does something, Monique has an issue with it. And like a lot of people have been saying, you keep complaining, but yet you have not left. If you don't want to be with Chris, move on. You can definitely get child support out of him, and you can still be on reality TV. But if you're going to stay with him, you have to switch up the way in which you come at him. Because if you've been coming at him this way for the past, I think they said they've been together for 10 years and nothing has changed. Maybe it's you. Maybe you got to change up how you speak to somebody. And that's not to like absolve Chris of his faults. Like, if she's been asking Monique's been asking Chris to change for years and he hasn't done it, then Chris has to find the wherewithal in himself to change. And that might be when Monique decides she wants out. Something drastic might have to change for him to wise up and show more depth and be more open towards her. But at this point, if we get a season 2, I don't want to hear neither one of them complaining about each other no more, especially from Monique. That's just it. So then we get to Jamie and Arena. We find out that little Jamie got 9 charges up against him. They are weapons charge and narcotics charge. He a bum, because why in which did you not tell your parents till the night before that you had a court date, bro? And then you can hear Arena being like, oh, I need to get his suit clean. Oh, I need to do this. He's 25 and he got himself in big boy trouble. Then he can be a big boy and take initiative to get himself out of the trouble. The messed up part is his misdemeanor charges got switched to felony charges. So now he is in a whole heap of trouble now. And he's looking at the minimum 5 years in jail to 25 years in jail. And it's like, my goodness, bro. Why, bro? Why? We end up getting a little backstory with Arena, finding out that her dad was in them streets of DC, and unfortunately, he was physically and emotionally abusive to her mom, and he ended up dying in prison. Got locked up in prison, and it has stayed with Arena, and now she feels like her son is going down that same path, and she just don't want it. She don't want it. We then have the final scene of the season where it is Ashley's sip and see of her book cover, and she's reading a little excerpt from her book. Winter never needs to shave her head again. Never needs to shave her head again, because it did her no favors, because this little shortcut is cute. Basically, Arena and Jamie go get freaky in the bathroom. Quick ends up giving Ashley a brand new ring. We see Tank sing to her, and he gives her the proposal she wants. So I guess that means we're going to see them renew their vows next season, if they get a next season. And Winter's feeling good about her placement in the group. She's glad that everyone's having a good time. And Monique says she has no regrets for doing the show, and she feels like this is a family unit now. So yeah, y'all, that was the whole entire season. My final thoughts of the season, if I had to give the season a ranking, it would probably be a C plus. There were moments where it was really good, and then there was moments where I was like, this is dragging, and it dragged on a lot of the time. But I'm thinking with the new season coming, if Tasha and Neil gets added to the cast and then Winter stays, it might be a lot better. Don't really know if they're going to get a season 2. They probably will. Yeah, I mean, it was decent. C plus worthy reality TV content. If they come back, I'm hoping things will change. Maybe people will get a lot more comfortable with the cameras and we'll get a little bit more juice and tea. But who knows? But yeah, y'all give me your thoughts below. Remember to be bravely authentic. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.